Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine this, a single penny, not a gold bar, not a stock tip, a penny you may have already touched, spent, or tossed into a jar without a second thought, and yet a broken bar. This exact coin has sold for as much as $659,000. Pause for a second. When was the last time you truly looked at a penny? Be honest, because today, we're revealing the story of the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny era, a coin so rare, so misunderstood, and so aggressively hunted by elite collectors that it has quietly turned ordinary Americans into unexpected winners. And here's the uncomfortable truth: most people who owned it never realized what they had. Don't let that be you. In 1982, something extraordinary happened behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. It wasn't announced. There was no press conference, no warning, yet it created one of the most lucrative era coins in American history. This penny slipped into circulation like a wolf in sheep's clothing, a same color, same size, same year, except it wasn't the same at all. And right now, collectors with serious money are searching relentlessly for it. Yes, right now. The question is simple and slightly terrifying: what if it's already in your possession? Let me ask you something with a smile, but also with purpose. If someone handed you a penny worth more than a luxury home, a broken bar, would you recognize it, or would it end up under your car seat, next to a coffee receipt and regret? To understand why this coin is so powerful, you have to understand the chaos of 1982. That year, the U.S. Mint changed how pennies were made, switching from mostly copper to zinc-based plan case to cut costs. But transitions create mistakes, and mistakes create legends. The 1982 Lincoln penny exists in multiple varieties, weights, and compositions, but one extremely rare error stands above the rest: a Denver minted penny struck on the wrong metal plankett, producing a coin that technically should not exist. This is where excitement meets fear, because this error doesn't scream for attention, it whispers. To the untrained eye, it looks normal. To a seasoned collector, it's a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. These pennies weigh differently, sound different when dropped, and behave differently under professional testing, and when authenticated, they ignite bidding wars, the kind where six figures becomes the starting conversation, not the finish line. Now here's the part that makes people nervous in a good way. Millions of Americans owned pennies from 1982. Most still do. They're in jars, drawers, old coffee cans, inherited collections, and dusty boxes in basements. And every year, more of these coins disappear, spent, damaged, or lost, making the surviving era examples even more valuable. Scarcity isn't coming, it's already here. And let's reset your attention for a moment, because this matters. Think about how often people say, "If only I had bought her earlier." Bitcoin, real estate, rare art. This is different. You don't need to buy anything, you just need to recognize what already exists. That's not speculation, that's awareness. Collectors aren't emotional buyers, they're strategic. They follow data, auction records, population reports, and verified sales. And the reason the 1982 era penny commands such staggering numbers is simple: demand is high, supply is microscopic, and trust is built through third-party authentication. When one surfaces, it doesn't sit quietly, it makes noise. Here's where the story becomes personal. This isn't just about coins, it's about mindset. The wealthy don't ignore small things, they investigate them. They understand that value is often hidden in plain sight. And right now, the market for rare U.S. era coins is stronger than ever. High net worth collectors are shifting assets into tangible historical objects that cannot be printed, inflated away, or digitally erased. A rare penny isn't just copper or zinc, it's proof, it's time, it's survival. Imagine the phone call. Imagine being told that the coin you've had for decades isn't ordinary, it's extraordinary, that it qualifies, that it's real, that collectors are ready. That moment changes how you see everything, not because of luck but because you paid attention. And yes, humor me for one last question. If a penny can be worth $659,000, a broken bar, what else have people underestimated their entire lives? This is why urgency matters. These coins are being found, certified, and locked away permanently. Every discovery reduces the odds for everyone else. The window doesn't slam shut up, it quietly narrows. The people who win are the ones who act while others procrastinate. So take this seriously but stay optimistic. Knowledge is leverage, awareness is power, and sometimes, wealth doesn't come from chasing the future a broken bar, it comes from re-examining the past. Because somewhere out there, a single 1982 Lincoln penny is waiting to be recognized for what it truly is. And the only question left is whether it will be found by someone who understands its value or someone who unknowingly lets it go. Stay curious, stay alert, and remember history rewards those who look closer. What if I told you that a single penny, the kind you've ignored for decades, the kind hiding in old jars, drawers, and forgotten envelopes, could be worth nearly $500,000 today? Not the stock, not crypto, not real estate. A 1968 mint marked Lincoln 1-cent penny. And here's the unsettling part: a broken bar. Most people who owned one already spent it, dropped it into a vending machine, tossed it into loose change, and walked away from a life-altering opportunity without ever knowing it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny or your own financial future the same way again. Let's be honest for a moment. Pennies feel insignificant. They rattle at the bottom of purses, weigh down car cup holders, and get swept into jars for later. But history has a strange habit of hiding wealth in places the average person dismisses, and the 1968 Lincoln penny error is one of the most powerful reminders that fortune doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes, it whispers. Picture America in 1968, a year of upheaval, change, and transformation. While the nation was focused on headlines and history, something quietly extraordinary was happening inside the U.S. Mint. A tiny mistake, a microscopic deviation, a flaw so rare, so elusive, that decades later collectors would compete fiercely for the few surviving examples. Today, the finest known specimens of the penny error have reached market values approaching $498,000. Yes, from 1 cent to generational wealth. And before you think, there's no way I could have one, let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Here's where the story gets serious. The 1968 mint marked Lincoln penny is already desirable on its own. It marks an important transition era in U.S. coinage, and San Francisco minted coins from this period are closely watched by collectors. But what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is the error, a rare strike anomaly that slipped past quality control and into circulation. These errors are not cosmetic, they are not damage, they are the result of minting irregularities that can never be recreated. Once discovered, they become instant legends in the numismatic world. Collectors don't see flaws, they see fingerprints of history. And when demand meets extreme scarcity, prices don't rise gently, a broken bar, they explode. Now here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. The supply of these coins is shrinking every year. Lost, spent, melted, forgotten. Meanwhile, demand is doing the opposite. As wealthier collectors enter the market, as hedge fund level money flows into tangible assets, rare U.S. coins are no longer just collectibles, they are financial instruments, silent, powerful stores of value. Let's pause for a second, a quick reality check. How many pennies do you think exist in the world? Billions, right? Now ask yourself how many perfectly preserved, high-grade 1968 error pennies exist. The answer is shocking. We're talking about a number so small that when one appears at auction, seasoned collectors feel a surge of adrenaline, phones come out, bids escalate, and prices climb fast. And here's a humorous thought to reset your attention. Imagine telling your younger self, one day, a penny will be worth more than your house. You would have laughed. Yet here we are. This is where fear quietly enters the room. Not panic, but awareness. The fear of missing what others see. The fear of realizing too late that opportunity was sitting in your hands all along. Because once these coins disappear into private collections, they rarely return to the open market. When they do, it's usually at a higher price than anyone expected. Now let's talk about what this means for you. This isn't just a story about a coin, it's a story about perception, about who seized value early and who waits for permission. The most successful collectors, investors, and wealth builders share one trait: they pay attention when others don't. If you are between 30 and 65, living in the United States, and thinking seriously about converting overlooked assets into real wealth, this is your moment to lean in. Because the window for discovery is still open, but it's closing. Every year, fewer undiscovered era coins remain in circulation. Every year, awareness increases, and every year, prices push higher. Think about the excitement of realizing that something you already own could change your financial trajectory. Think about the urgency of knowing that time favors those who act, not those who hesitate. This is not about luck. It's about knowledge meeting decisiveness. And let me say this clearly: the market does not reward doubt, it rewards preparation. The collectors who are thriving today didn't wait until headlines told them it was safe. They educated themselves, examined what they had, and positioned their assets while demand was rising. So here's the quiet challenge: tonight, or tomorrow, open that jar. Look closely, use a magnifier, respect the details, because history doesn't repeat, it hides. And sometimes, it hides in copper. One last thought before we close: wealth isn't always about chasing the next big thing. Sometimes, it's about recognizing the extraordinary in what's already been part of your life. The 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny era isn't just highly demanded, it's symbolic. A reminder that value rewards those who see beyond face value. And if a single cent can become nearly $498,000, just imagine what happens when you start looking at opportunities differently. Stay curious, stay alert, and remember, the smallest things often carry the greatest power. Imagine this: you're holding a single penny. It's scratched, it's dull, it's been ignored for decades, and yet a broken bar, that tiny copper coin, may be worth up to $598,000. No lottery ticket, no inheritance, just a penny hiding in plain sight. Today, we're uncovering the shocking truth behind the 1988 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny era, a coin that has quietly turned ordinary Americans into very wealthy individuals. Now here's the uncomfortable question that should stop you cold for a second: a broken bar. What if you've already spent one of these without knowing it? Most people think all pennies are the same. That's exactly why this story matters. Fear lives here: the fear of missing out, of overlooking life-changing wealth because no one ever taught you what to look for. Excitement lives here too, because once you know the secret, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. And urgency, that comes from one simple fact: every year, more of these coins disappear forever, melted down or lost, while collectors quietly pay massive money for the few that remain. Now, quick pattern interrupt. To be honest for a moment, when was the last time you actually looked at a penny instead of tossing it aside like it was nothing? Exactly. That's how treasures stay hidden. The year 1988 was not supposed to be special. Millions of Lincoln pennies were struck, circulated, and forgotten. But somewhere in that process, a rare and powerful error was born. A no-mint mark anomaly, combined with striking irregularities, created a coin that broke the rules of modern minting. Coins like this are not supposed to exist. And when something is not supposed to exist, demand explodes. High-level collectors don't chase ordinary coins. They chase stories. They chase mistakes that slip through a system designed for perfection. And this 1988 penny carries exactly that kind of story. The kind that whispers exclusivity. The kind that makes seasoned buyers lean forward, lower their voice, and say, "If you ever find one, don't let it go cheap." Here's where excitement spikes. Verified examples tied to rare era characteristics have commanded jaw-dropping prices, with elite market valuations reaching as high as $598,000. That's not hype, that's the power of scarcity meeting obsession. And the most thrilling part, these coins were released into everyday circulation. Gas stations, grocery stores, coffee shop counters, not vaults, not museums, real life. Another quick reset: a funny thought, right? Somewhere out there, a vending machine might be sitting on $500,000, completely unaware of its own success. Stranger things have happened in numismatics. This is where smart viewers separate themselves from the crowd, because people who build wealth don't wait for permission. They pay attention, they learn, they act while others scroll past opportunity. Right now, collectors across the United States are aggressively searching for rare Lincoln pennies, and demand is not slowing down it's accelerating. As older collections are locked away and fewer coins surface, pressure on the market continues to rise. Time is not neutral here. Time is expensive. Every year you wait is another year these coins become harder to find and more valuable to those who already understand the game. This is not about luck. This is about awareness, about refusing to live with the regret of saying, I had only a broken bar, I just didn't know. Wealth often doesn't announce itself with flashing lights. Sometimes it arrives quietly, disguised as something ordinary, waiting for someone with vision to recognize it. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, a broken bar; when you open that old jar, a broken bar; when you look at coins you've ignored for years, so look closer. Because the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just a coin. It's a reminder that opportunity still exists in America for those willing to pay attention. And here's the final question to leave you with, the one that successful collectors ask themselves constantly. What other fortunes are hiding in plain sight? A broken bar simply waiting for you to notice. If you want to stay ahead of the market, protect your legacy, and position yourself where serious collectors play, this journey has only just begun. The next coin could already be in your hands. What if I told you that one of the most powerful financial opportunities in America isn't hidden on Wall Street? A broken bar isn't locked inside a vault. A broken bar and isn't reserved for the ultra-rich. What if it's sitting quietly inside a jar, a drawer, or an old coffee can in your home, ignored for decades, underestimated by millions, yet capable of changing a life overnight? Today, we uncover the astonishing truth behind the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin most people overlook, but elite collectors aggressively pursue. A penny once spent without thought, a broken bar now commanding up to $487,000 in today's high-stakes numismatic market. And here's the unsettling part: thousands of Americans may already own only a broken bar without knowing it. Pause for a moment. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? This is not hype. This is not speculation. This is the reality of scarcity, demand, and timing colliding. Exactly how generational wealth stories begin. In 1977, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Lincoln cents. No fanfare, no headlines. No one imagined that certain examples from this ordinary year would become legendary. With no mint mark, these coins blended seamlessly into circulation, passed hand to hand, store to store, decade after decade. But within that sea of copper, a few rare anomalies emerge, errors so subtle that only trained eyes recognize them. A broken bar, yet so valuable that collectors are willing to pay nearly $500,000 to own them. Think about that for a second. A single cent, worth more than many homes. And no, this isn't one of those maybe someday stories. This is happening right now. Auction houses are watching fierce bidding wars erupt. Private collectors are paying premiums. Investment-grade coins are disappearing into long-term vaults. And the supply? It's not growing. Here's where fear quietly enters the room, because every year that passes, more of these rarer coins are lost, damaged, or spent unknowingly. Every year you wait, the window narrows. Every year, the people who act move further ahead. Quick reality check: if you found one of these pennies today a broken bar, would you even recognize it? Most people wouldn't. And that's exactly why the opportunity still exists. Now let's talk about why this specific penny sits at the top of the demand ladder. The most valuable 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln cents feature extraordinary minting errors, errors that were never meant to leave the mint, yet slipped through quality control during a period of immense production pressure. These errors create unmistakable visual signatures that serious collectors crave because they cannot be replicated. And here's the secret that separates casual curiosity from real money: condition magnifies value. A rare error in pristine, uncirculated condition doesn't just increase in worth, it explodes. This is where excitement kicks in, because unlike stocks or crypto, this asset doesn't require a broker, a subscription, or insider access. It requires awareness, knowledge, and the willingness to look where others don't. Let me ask you something: how many people do you know who've checked their change this carefully? Exactly. Here's a quick pattern interrupt. If pennies are worthless, why are elite investors hoarding them like gold? Funny how the smallest things often carry the biggest surprises. isn't it? Collectors aren't buying nostalgia. They're buying scarcity. They're buying history. They're buying the confidence that once these coins disappear into private collections, they're gone for good. And that's why demand keeps climbing. This market doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards those who recognize opportunity early and act decisively. Now we arrive at the moment of choice. Right now, someone in America is unknowingly spending a coin that could fund a retirement, eliminate debt, or redefine their future. At the same time, someone else is carefully inspecting their collection and stepping into a higher financial tier because they understood the moment they were in. Which one will you be? This isn't about luck. It's about positioning. The wealthy don't wait for permission. They educate themselves, recognize value before the crowd, and move with confidence. The 1977 no-mint marked Lincoln penny isn't just a coin, it's a reminder. A reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight, that opportunity favors the prepared, and that timing is everything. And make no mistake here, the clock is ticking. As awareness grows, as collectors tighten their grip, and as supply shrinks, prices don't stabilize a broken bar, they escalate. What commands hundreds of thousands today may demand even more tomorrow. So before you dismiss this as just a penny, remember history rewards those who see differently. Check your coins, study them, respect them, because the next life-changing discovery might already be in your possession, a broken bar waiting for you to notice. And if you found O'Neill when you recognize it before it's too late,